Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you know when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Bad Boys. Fellas, are we not the bad boys ourselves?
Oh man, now just think about Twilight. I'm a bad boy. Me.
Ooh, I just feel disgusting.
Yeah, you're saying lines from Twilight, but you're sounding like fucking Jim Carrey from Cable Guy again.
I was getting some like Keanu Reeves in there. Well, look, it's the bad boy himself.
Yes! Fuck! All right, so Bad Boys. This was the first time that I'd seen this. You guys had seen this before, is that right?
I had.
Yeah, many moons ago, though. I was
All
actually
right.
really excited to return to it. I was like, man, you know what? I remember seeing this movie growing up. It's like, it was a pretty killer action movie. Can't wait.
Yeah, this is something that I just kind of skipped over during my lifetime somehow. Like, I know it's like a fairly well-reviewed, acclaimed movie, but I just missed out on this until now.
I was the one who put this on the cast. This was my pick. I recalled this being, as Eric put it, a fairly well-to-do action film. Coming back and watching Welcome to Mike Larry was not as fun as I thought.
Yeah. Honestly, this is not as good as I expected it to be. I'll just put that out right now. It's not bad, but it wasn't... I had higher standards for it. I'll tell you that. Had higher standards.
Yeah, you got Will Smith putting in his normal Will Smith performance, and then you got Martin, and he's the best and worst part of this film, because when you're laughing, it's because of Martin, and then when you wish that everyone would shut the fuck up, it's because of Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can unanimously agree that this movie is unfortunately annoying.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence specifically is, and I like Martin Lawrence generally. He's pretty fucking annoying in this role. And I'll disagree that Will Smith is doing his normal Will Smith stuff. Will Smith is being like the absolute straight man in this.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Yeah, it is. He's not joking it up like he should. He doesn't have that swagger, even though they're talking about how much swagger this guy has. He really doesn't.
He felt like the Will Smith character from Independence Day.
Oh, like this is like a straight sequel to it. Like after his military days and he punched an alien square in the face, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go down to Miami-Dade, become a policeman.
Bingo. Welcome to Earth. Now I'm a bad boy for life.
No, he's just waiting for for the Cuban immigrants coming over. He's waiting on the beach. Hey, welcome to Miami, and knocks him in the head.
Oh, can he please just like deck people and still say welcome to Earth? Like as they're coming up the beach, he's like, bam! Welcome to Earth!
Hey,
Like, Will, you can't knock people out like this.
Running from fucking rickshaw raft to rickshaw raft punching immigrants.
Yes.
Earth! He ain't got time to say the whole thing. He just says Earth.
Meanwhile, you've got like a little kid who just got punched. Hey, I've been on Earth. I've just been in Cuba.
Shut up, Elian Gonzalez. You get hit twice.
That's the kid's name. I was trying to think, who was that kid? Elian
the kid-
Gonzalez.
Fuck it. Will's going to deck him too.
Oh, man.
So this movie, I'm just going to bust out just like a bit of plot just to get this started. There's a heist. There's an armored truck. There's some bad guys stealing a bunch of, I guess, heroin from a police station coming from underground. I don't know. This is like SEAL Team 6 or whatever from The Rock, these Marines
Yes!
or whatever they
Yes!
are busting in.
I had
Absolutely.
that down. The rock style mission scene.
These thieves are so well to do. I was actually more interested, like after the movie got a little annoying, I was actually more interested in what they were doing, because these dudes break in with the highest tech shit. And you know how they leave with all those drugs? They luge.
Oh,
they
yeah.
got Running Man sleds.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. But also, if they've got this much money, why are they caring about, like, I don't know. They said it was like $500,000 worth of heroin.
No, it was 180 million.
180?
Wow.
I thought it was $500,000.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe heroin is worth a lot more than I thought.
It reminds me of a quote from somewhere. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of money, or it could be a lot of fucking money, or something like that. That's their state of mind, you know?
Oh, could it be like, because I think I really remember $500,000. Could it have been like $500,000 like in raw heroin, and then they're going to turn it into 110 million or something like that with the cutting?
I think you're right, but yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, probably not. So that's where we are. We've got a bunch of bad guys who are getting away with a whole bunch of heroin that just came from police lockup.
And we get introduced to our main characters in a very weird, they want you to connect with these two. You got Martin, and he's eating a burger and fries in Will Smith's super luxury car, and it turns into dick jokes and some banter with them pulling over because Martin's dropping these fries. And this really blew me away. They have this lady as a distraction.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, whoever you are, the actress, she walks by the car, and she does have nice legs, but it shows her face, and she is butt fucking ugly.
She looks like a man, baby.
Oh no. Well, I mean, she was distracting enough to where both dudes were just like, "Hey, man, what's this? This is a Miami chick over here."
While two other guys, one of them looks like "Give me the cash" from fucking Fifth Element.
Straight up.
And then you got the other guy who looks like. Do you guys know who Matty Matheson is, the chef?
No.
All right, let's just
I thought-
zoom past that then.
He looks like that old comedian that I really enjoy, Patrice something or other.
Yeah. That was the next guy I was gonna say. He looks like Patrice. He was on The Office for a little bit. He's dead now, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Like, he was super funny, and the reason why I bring him up is because their fucking boss is straight up Bill Burr.
Oh, the cop guy?
Yeah.
No, the boss is actually, I know him from Memento. If you guys have seen Memento, he's like the main guy's quote best friend.
John G.
Is that his name? Yeah, it's that guy. And so I always just kind of think any character he is, he's a dick, and I don't trust him. So I thought he might have been in on it, actually.
But we get a good sample of their brotherly love because they're being hijacked. How did they get out of the hijacking? By yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
so they're in an argument, and they get into even more of an argument while they're being hijacked, and that's the distraction that they need to just get out of it.
It's kind of clever, but at the same time, unfortunately, annoying. Because, like, they're going at it, and, like, the guys are just like, wait a minute. Usually when I point the gun, they just go, ah. These guys are just screaming at each other.
Yeah.
This happens every 30 minutes throughout the film. So
Yeah.
this is roughly the first of four times?
At least
that they do
3.
this?
I don't know. I was like, as soon as it was over, and Martin Lawrence was like, that was from Passenger 53, Samuel L. Jackson. I was just like, man, that's a good movie. I'd rather be watching that.
But we do really get to see who these guys are. You got Martin Lawrence. We find out that he just never fucking stops talking. And you got Will Smith, who we find out has a lot of money from his family for whatever reason, and likes to drive real fast in a Porsche, and does not want Martin Lawrence to spill his fries all over the place because that's disrespectful.
He'll just throw off his groove. That's fun.
I get it. I'm on Will Smith's side here. That's nasty.
Now, the big comic thing that they want going on here is Martin, he's married with kids and a wife, and they're always bickering. And then you got Hitch over there, and he's just fucking everything that walks.
Yeah, but the thing about Martin is he's not getting it at home. Like, I don't know. I guess they're in a rough patch, or maybe it's just, 5 years into marriage and it's just not happening. But he is backed up. He is backed up.
They bring that up constantly throughout this. He just needs to fucking get a nut.
I think the idea behind it is like, he's a cop and he's always doing cop stuff and he's never really home. So, like, I guess his wife has that, like, missed connection or whatever.
Mhm.
But, man, like, later in the movie, she straight up watches television and he's doing work. Like, he's in the middle of a thing and it's like helicopters filming him and stuff. This is some hardcore undercover shit. And she still has the gall to be pissed at him. Like, this dude's out there fucking saving the streets. And she's like, well, you weren't home, so I fucked the neighbor.
There's literally a burning car 20 feet from him, and they're like covered in sweat with guns out. And she goes, why ain't you in Cleveland?
Yeah.
By the way, did you all recognize the wife? That's the same wife from another movie that we did, Spawn.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
She looks a little different with that whole shit casing of Spawn around her.
Yeah.
And what was her name? Veronica. Was it Veronica, or am I thinking
Wanda.
Billy Mays?
It was
Wanda. Oh, shit. Now, they keep doing things throughout this movie which blow my fucking mind. They're the cops, but they find dead bodies. They make dead bodies. They rob stores. They do B&Es. And they never, ever call any of it in. They never tell anybody what's going on. Hey, there's a dead body here. They don't say shit. They just go on about their business.
Well,
Yeah.
they are bad boys.
Oh, what you gonna do? I gotcha.
But they went into a man's house with a corpse. He's dead, and they just leave.
Yeah, what had happened was Will Smith goes down to his girl and is like, "Hey, you my girl. You were at the gym. I know you're a prostitute, so can you like find out what's going on the street? Like who's selling some heroin, who's buying heroin, who's partying a whole lot? I need some info."
Well, grabbing somebody that's like between the gears of society. That's like a classic cop thing. It's like, yeah, I know a guy. I'm just gonna like ask him a real quick question. He's gonna do a thing for me, and we're gonna get this shit solved ASAP. But unfortunately, like her little rendezvous with her friend, with like a good old coke man, who find out is a part of the whole thief team in the beginning of the movie. Not only is he the greasiest motherfucker I've seen in a long time, but man, is he just cracked out of his fucking mind.
He looks like somebody, and I don't know who it is, but I don't like him.
He looks like Pennywise without the makeup.
Nice.
I was gonna go with like he's got like this greasy Adam Driver kind of thing going on.
Now, we're glazing over something which I don't think should be glazed over. Will Smith goes to get this informant lady who is a prostitute or a hooker or an escort, something fancy. She is based out of a gym that is like a boxing gym and a weightlifting gym, one of those classic movie gyms. It's got everything. But everyone in that gym is sexualized. The women are wearing crop tops with their titties hanging out, short shorts covered in sweat, spray on tans. The dudes are just jacked to the nines, barely lifting anything. I was actually shocked at this gym and why people weren't in there with cameras to film all of these beautiful people.
I mean, there were. Michael Bay walked right in. He's like, you know what? Film it like porn.
Truth. Curl this, and when you do, flick your bean.
Meanwhile, in the background, there's just that same little fan with smoke in the background.
God damn it. So, can we just real quick talk about this? We're buddies. If I was a hooker and I said, "Hey Chandler, I know you're not a hooker, but I'm gonna go over to this dude's house and he's expecting
a couple of hookers.
You want to come?"
Well, it turns out I'm not a hooker, but today
I'm not a hooker, but today I'm a hooking man.
But they try to make the friends seem so special. Like, oh, hey, she's a good girl. She has a real job. She doesn't need to be doing this. She's not really doing anything bad. She's helping a friend out by just keeping her company. No, she is going with a hooker to a hooker party.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're a hooker.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hooker by association.
I like that. But it's just bad writing because, like, they had the idea of the meetup and the shootout, which, spoilers, she inevitably dies and kickstarts this whole thing. But, like, somebody in the room was just like, well, if everybody's dead, who's going to go to the cops?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. If they don't bring somebody along, then there's no witness. There's no, there's no anything. They're just away scot-free, and you got to start another scene. I guess you're right there.
And I get this is super nitpicky, but like they could have just been like, well, it was a maid or something, this is a hotel or something.
Anything would have made more sense than that. Like, it started hurting my head. I need something for my head.
On my nitpicky train, like this becomes like super contrived or whatever. She's like, well, man, this is fucking weird. All these people with guns showed up. I gotta go take a shit. I'll be back in 2. See you later.
Yes. Dude, she escapes. All right. They're fucking shooting at her. She climbs into a window, leaps out of the window into a pool, which doesn't seem like a very far jump.
Two stories.
The two goons run to the window, look out, armed. She made it. She
got away.
Out of the window, nothing. They don't even chase her. Didn't think she's going to make it. And that's the end of it.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, should we shoot? No, that was entirely too badass. Let's get out of here.
Exactly. One question. Why do they kill the first girl anyway? Like Maxine or whatever her name is. Why do they kill her? Because they just, like, see her and is like, well, can't let her live.
Well, she's just cannon fodder, though, because, like, they were there to get rid of him because he was making some noise on the streets. And she was just like, well, a fucking hooker. They're like, whatever, expendable.
I guess. Like, why bring her in if you're just going to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, he was just, like, celebrating a little too soon. So, like, the main bad guy didn't know that she was going to be there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He could have just pulled a Clarence Boddicker and said, bitches leave.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about her escaping, she's, like, crawling across this, like, terracotta roof. It straight up looks like a scene from Uncharted or something. And I know she's got to be wearing like high heels. How is she getting across that roof in the first place to jump into that pool? I admire her for doing it, but I doubt.
My kid literally said the same thing. He goes, she's doing all this in heels.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she's just like a super hooker. We don't know.
While all that's going on, though, you got Mike Lowry and our good buddy Martin, and they're cruising around, and they were told, all the heroin's gone. Go fix it. Do what you do, only faster. And they got that little tip from old girl, and they go to check this dude's house. Dude's fucking dead, and all Martin can do is go, "Oh, damn."
Yeah, 100%. And it's so like arbitrary too, because like, okay, he doesn't like dead bodies. It makes him sick. Whatever. He freaks him out, and he does everything possible to get really close to this dead fucking body. I'm just like, what is this?
He's like sniffing and shit. I gotta say, in this movie, the action scenes, they're well put together. The explosions look cool, all that shit. But the acting here, 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
2 out of 5.
There is a line that we get as they're coming into this scene. It's pretty funny, at least in comparison to the rest of the movie. But you got him like knocking on the door of this mansion. This is a big palatial mansion. You got him knocking on the door. It's like, oh, the door is open, and they come in. They're trying to like, I guess, scope the place out, see what's going on. Hey, there's people coming in. Don't worry. Don't be alarmed. We're Negroes.
Oh man, you done messed up. You put too much bass in your voice. You gotta say it like this. Hey, we're coming in.
Like between that and him asking Will Smith if he farted, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, fucking grown man acting there. And there's a line whenever they're leaving and they're in the car, which I thought was personally kind of funny. It's more of that bickering banter that's supposed to be so funny. It doesn't click. I'll say that, whenever in Rush Hour, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker have that disconnect, and so Chris Tucker can kind of wing it and make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be that, but they just let it run for too long, so it doesn't come across. If they would just cut it to the little funny bit, it would be perfect. So they banter for about 3 minutes before Martin gets to the funny part, which is him saying, "I'll take us both off this fucking cliff." Had it just been Will Smith saying something and then Martin replying with that, and that being the end of it, 10 out of 10. But it's 3 minutes of bickering before that comes out.
This is a whole lot of like Jay and Silent Bob, where Jay is just won't shut up, and Silent Bob, everything that comes out of his mouth is kind of like what should be coming out of his mouth. If they would combine the two characters, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, that might be a funny character to put beside, like, I don't know, a grumpy old straight man. But the two together just don't play off each other as well as they should.
I got you. So you're saying you should make Will Smith like Martin and put him next to a straight man like Tommy Lee Jones, but then you get Men in Black.
Yeah, like I feel like both characters, like Will Smith is doing like not quite enough, and Martin Lawrence is doing way too much. Have them meet in the middle, have that be your like funny guy, and just put somebody else in the seat beside him. Because this dynamic as it is isn't really hitting it.
Yeah. It totally feels like Michael Bay was like, hey, you guys see that Pulp Fiction movies, right? Do that.
Basically.
Yeah, we eventually, once all this hubbub is over, the cops end up coming out to the scene of this, at this big palatial mansion where the murders are or whatever, and they're investigating. You got Martin Lawrence and Will Smith there. They're scoping it out, and Martin Lawrence eventually goes over there, peels up the sheet to see who it is. It's old girl Maxine. Damn.
Exactly. That's all he can do. Damn. Will Smith comes over, tries to give some kind of sad face, and then he goes, I just can't be here. And he runs away.
Yeah, and where even is he? I don't even know where he goes. I don't see him till he comes back.
What's the point of leaving?
Oh, okay.
Fair.
But during his little, like, what's the word? During his little hiatus from the world, the police station gets a call from the roommate or whatever. Her name's Julie. Gets a call and is like, I only want to talk to Will Smith. I don't remember his name. Mike something or other. I only want to talk to him. Mike Lowry. I only want to talk to him. I'm not talking to anyone else. You know, I saw the whole thing. I got eyes on everybody. He's the only person I'm talking to. So Martin Lawrence has to pretend to be him. And that's funny.
No.
Well, the only part that I enjoyed about it was like, I really like their captain or whatever, because he's just such a stereotype. He's just a loud Irishman police dude. So he basically just like takes the phone. He's like, yeah, Mike just got out of the shitter. He's on his way over here. Give me his 2 seconds. Hey, Martin Lawrence, you gotta be Mike Lowry for 2 seconds. Like, I can't do that. And he's like, you be Mike Lowry. I'll put you through that fucking wall. And
Yes,
he does.
that is 100% what he's doing, and it fucking kills me because he goes, "This is Mike Lowry," and then you get fucking not Bill Burr going, "Nah, you gotta be more sexy."
Yeah, like what? Like if your boss is like, "Hey, do like your buddy, you know, more sexy." What the fuck do you do?
You be more sexy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he pretends to be Mike Lowry, and he's sexy, and he goes over there, and when he gets there, the place is a fucking dump.
Tell you, I did not notice that, at least at the beginning. Like, I saw the layout of the apartment when, you know, they inevitably went in there and the bad guys come over, spoiler alert, shoot up the place a little bit. And it looked like maybe a shitty little apartment.
I don't know. It's whatever she could afford being a not hooker.
Being a not hooker with a real job. She probably works someplace nice like Aldi, you know?
I hear they get to sit down.
Living large.
I don't know why I went with Aldi, to be honest.
Now, he gets over there, and she goes, "You're not Mike Lowry." He goes, "I am Mike Lowry. Look how sexy."
Well, he comes over and she's immediately suspicious. Like you said,
Suspicious. Why are you suspicious?
Yeah, and like that's probably the best acting that Martin Lawrence does in this entire movie because like she's just got a baseball bat ready to knock his block off, and he's like, "You know what? Fuck you. Like enough. I'm just gonna go home and try to sleep with my wife later." It's like the most real he ever gets in this whole movie. I was like, you know what? Yes, that's an honest reaction. I'll give him that.
There's another one a little bit later, but regarding this scene and regarding, I don't know, almost every scene after this, why the fuck doesn't he just like give it to her straight? Hey, I'm not
Yes.
Mike Lowry. I'm his best friend and partner. You know, I trust the guy with my life. His kids call me Uncle Maurice or whatever his name is. Like, he's very distraught by the death of his friend. I can't get a hold of him, but, you know, I will protect you.
Or keep up the charade long enough to get to Mike Lowry, because they get to Mike Lowry like it's nothing, and then they decide to keep it going, which is nothing. It's supposed to be funny, but it's just stupid.
It's frustrating.
It certainly is. But then again, you can't have the movie rated R for wackiness and just leave that out.
I guess.
I don't actually know why this movie was rated R.
Yeah, there's a lot of F-bombs and stuff like that. And I guess the whole club scene's a little naughty, but it's whatever.
I mean, there's not even like real coochie or anything. It's just like a little ass.
You know.
He has to get out of there because bad guys are going to know where she's at or some shit. And she goes, "Your place, Mike Lowry?" And he goes, "Yeah, my place." And so he goes to Mike Lowry's, where the bellhop accuses him of adultery, which I thought was pretty funny.
That was pretty good because his lines are set up perfectly. It's like, "Oh, how's it going? You got nice company. How's the wife? How's the family, by the way?"
It's like, hey,
Babe.
I got an extra key back there. Mike Lowry sent it, right? And I swear to God, if you say another word, I'll take you in for extortion.
Then he leaves her in there and goes and chastises Will Smith for needing a minute to deal with the loss of a friend.
Man, this movie just shoots itself in the foot constantly because of this. And the entire time, like you mentioned before, just like it's just kind of useless. Because like the whole time is just like to get this awkwardness. It's supposed to be like comedy. All in the meanwhile, like the actual police stuff happens in the background. So whatever.
No, I'm with you because you'll get like some cool police shit and then you'll get some really bad jokes because now they go and see their chief balling. He can't ball for nothing. He's white.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's bad.
Then it cuts to them at Mike Lowry's and she says, "Hey, Mike, you gay?" And Martin looks all confused. He goes, "Nah, that's my partner. He keeps my picture up and I keep his picture up because we save each other's lives each time." Yep. Mm-hmm. But Will Smith's over there holding his head because he's dealing with a lot of shit.
Sometimes you just need a thing for your head. And what I got today is from Things for Your Head. I don't know what kind of a company this is, but what I've got is their watermelon hard seltzer. Let's see how this guy's going to be. It's 6.5% alcohol by volume. Smells right off the bat like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. Oh.
You get a hint of that Miami Heat.
Smells like LeBron's balls. Oh. This might be one of the worst things I've ever drunk.
Oh no.
Is it worse than those Four Locos? Was it Four Locos?
This is none of those things. This is like cloyingly sweet. The flavor is like a watermelon Jolly Rancher that's been left outside for a couple of years. And then you just dipped it in like vodka water. There's a little bit of like malt liquor flavor in there too. Oh, this is just so bad. This is terrible. I'm sorry. Thanks for your head brewery. This this is an abysmal concoction.
That's rough. Hey, but hey, speaking of stuff that we thought was good but ended up to be kind of annoying, back to Bad Boys.
Yeah, so you got Marcus, who is Will Smith, and Julia, who is not Jennifer Connelly. They're hitting it off, and she's wearing a fucking mini skirt at all times. But man, she's like a pro at keeping her coochie hidden. She does a scene later where she has to squat down. She does this left leg drop knee that turns her leg sideways, and I don't know, man. It's just impressive that she hides everything at all times.
Yeah, they probably had to do it like 6 times. Meanwhile, you got like Michael Bay is sitting back there in the director's chair like, cut! We saw your snapper again. We got to do it again.
Snapper. Fuck, dude.
He could just put an explosion in there. Just...
Please.
Oh, man. And this is where the movie starts to kind of like take off in the idea of action. So she gets a hold of a 007 gun from Mike Lowry, and they're going to the club to do some investigating, and she's going to shoot this guy. And there's models everywhere. And dude, I lost my shit because Martin says, hey, keep your fucking head in the game. Stop getting distracted by all this quote unquote scattered ass.
Scattered ass. Yeah, I'll tell you, this club though looks like a fun time. I'll just tell you, like, it's not like it's a little bit of a goth club, but there's like bikers and stuff in there too. I don't know what it really is, but there's a whole lot of hooers and a whole lot of like spooky music.
I mean, the layout seemed really familiar. I was just like, would they do like stumble onto the set of Triple X or some shit like that?
Looked very Triple X. Like, yeah, this definitely looks like one of those clubs that's like not quite underground, but it probably actually only happens once a month and is inside of a church.
But it also has some of the worst security I've ever seen in my life because she just walks in with a fucking gun in her purse.
Yeah.
It was pre 9/11.
True.
Oh, yeah. I thought people were getting shot up in clubs. It doesn't fucking matter because all hell breaks loose. There was a firefight!
I understood that reference.
Good, because they just be diving. And they're always diving.
Yeah, okay. This all starts out like in the bathroom. Martin Lawrence is in there taking a leak or whatever, and a couple of the bad guys come in and are like, hey, I'm going to put a bag over your head and then, I don't know, beat you a little bit. Then, you know, there's a tussle going on. They end up spilling themselves through an aquarium, spilling like, I don't know, probably 1,000 gallons of water on the floor. Dude's using the bathroom floor as a slip and slide to get to the gun. It looks like a fun time.
Very John Woo-y, you know? But like not good. Or not as good, rather. Just almost just like, he watched the movie, he's like, yeah, I can do that, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also like one of the best parts of the movie because like as Martin Lawrence is getting rocked in the background, like Will Smith is just totally distracted by all this scattered ass.
Not just the scattered ass. He's doing his best Quentin Tarantino out there just staring at feet.
Maybe that's just like a Hollywood thing. Maybe feet are a big deal and we just don't get it yet because we're not rich.
We just don't get it yet.
They got to get out of there. So they make a dash for it. They jump inside of this, what appears to be a UPS truck, but is just an Aether truck, an entire truck full of ether. They throw the guy out and they say, we're commandeering this. And they take off getting chased by some other fellows. And hilarity ensues.
Kinda, but like it's super unintentional. Like this van or whatever is totally set to explode because ether, I guess it's like nitroglycerin, you look at it and it explodes, but like the whole time the thing's getting rocked, shot at, and then Will Smith gets fed up and just starts hucking barrels out the back of it like it's nothing.
Before we move on to this too far, why was this truck at this club? Why is there a truck full of ether just at this club?
Well, they parked it there because that's what they were going to cut the heroin with.
Okay.
To turn that amount of heroin into a lot more amount of heroin.
Yeah, but the heroin's not at the club, right?
Maybe.
No, but the main bad guy is. So maybe it was just like one of those transitional things. We're like, yeah, I got to do something real fast. It's on the way, yada, yada. Excuse.
I don't buy it. I don't know. There's like 100 gallons of ether in there, like 4 big 50-gallon barrels. And it's just like, oh, I'll just stop at this club and, you know, go in, say hi to my friends and everything. I'll just stick around for a little bit. Meanwhile, I got this truck full of ether parked outside. We
pick apart every movie we watch like this. And I got to say, this is one of the worst ones for it. Because as I'm watching it, I literally keep going, why? Why is this happening right now? Why is this a thing? How could this possibly be the logical course of action for anyone?
Yeah. Yeah, and Okay, they do make their escape in this truck full of ether right after not Jennifer Connelly actually tries to take a shot at the main bad guy with her gun, and everybody's just like, no, what the fuck are you doing? We're in a crowded place. Get the fuck out of here. Go.
Pork
God,
chop
those
sandwich.
pork chop sandwiches.
Yes, both went there. So they have to make a getaway in the ether truck, and with all that stupid shit, it doesn't matter. But they get to a convenience store, and this is where I had my genuine good time with this movie. My 5 minutes of this film that felt right. They go inside of what is called Quickie Mart, and they're discussing, cop things. Like they had the heroin here. They had this here. They're gonna cut it. We're talking about drugs, and the fucking cashier is like, "Oh shit, these are drug dealers. They're going to rob me." And he pulls out his gun, and in the most stereotypical, quasi-racist way, he yells out, "Mother bitches, put it down! I will fucking blow you! I've killed before! I will kill again!"
He's killed before.
Freeze, mother bitches. And they're like, wait, I can show you my badge. Badges, you want badges? Mother bitch, I've got badges. And throws like 9 badges at him.
99 cents a piece, by the way. A great deal. Especially
It
in a
is.
place that only sells liquor and shampoo.
They also sell Skittles and Bubblicious.
Let's hop back just for a second for the end of this little chase that's going on with the truck. Will Smith, as you mentioned, is just throwing out these 50-gallon barrels of ether. It actually ends on like a bridge. I thought this was going to be like Speed 3 or something, but no, it ends up on a bridge. The bad guy's car explodes, but there's like a news helicopter filming all this. So at the end, when they get out of the car and they're like, "Hey, we did it, but also I'm going to argue with you very openly on this freeway for a little bit and clearly show my face when I'm supposed to be in Cleveland." That gets filmed. That'll come back, right?
I mean, absolutely. That's when his wife is just like, wait a minute. He wasn't in this Cleveland at all.
You were out doing cop things. How dare you?
Exactly. It wasn't like he was doing anything wrong. He wasn't hugging the female, anything. He's literally standing
No.
next to his partner, his fucking work partner. The woman is standing 10 feet away. There is a burning ether truck. They have guns in their hands. Clearly, shit has been popping off. And she's upset because he's not in Cleveland.
It's just like another instance in the movie. It's like, why do you have to lie about all this? Like,
Why the fuck
you don't have
always
anything to cover
lie?
up. Like, I guess you could run the thing like, oh, I'm just trying to protect you, but like, he could just say like, well, I'm going undercover. I can't say anything due to your protection, and even get his like boss to maybe even give her a call and be like, hey, listen, he's on a mission. I know it's rough, but like, he's doing something rougher, saving the streets, so on and so forth. Super cop.
Yeah, 4 days. Just like 4 days. Can you just, okay?
Now, Will Smith's character volunteers to watch over Martin's family while Martin, fake Jennifer Connelly, suddenly wants some D. And Martin can't give it to her. And she goes, well, it's got me feeling a kind of way. And I'm sure not Mike Larry, I'm sure your partner is at home giving it to his wife because he feels some kind of way. And that gets Martin thinking, shit.
I got a theory about this scene. I think the cogs are starting to turn, and she's like, you know what? Those two guys are the opposite people. They have to be. He's been described as this like tall, handsome ladies' man, real smooth, real suave. That sounds a lot like his buddy. This guy's not any of those things. I bet they're pulling something on me. I'm gonna try something out right now. I'm gonna see what he'll do if I say something like, don't you feel kind of funny? Like horny funny. Trying to test the waters, see how he reacts to that. Is he gonna get jealous? Spoiler alert, he fucking does.
But
And
what if he would have dicked her down?
Then it'd just be a bad boy because Martin Lawrence would have killed him.
No, I meant like, what if Martin Lawrence would have just dicked down the old girl on the bed?
Oh, like his reasoning is like, I can't do it unless we're undercover.
Ah, I mean, that would solve at least one of his issues.
Oh man, he goes, "Dude, you haven't met my other partner," and she's like, "Who?" He's like, "Shaft."
Oh, that's so smooth.
Like Martin Lawrence, once all these cogs start turning, he rushes back over to his house and is like, hey, Hey, you can't be dicking down my wife. I can't even dick down my wife. Hey. There's a misunderstanding. Who would have thought?
I mean, I guess so. But, like the whole thing's framed really awkwardly, like most stuff in this movie. So like when he gets upset and goes to his house, he just like attempts breaking and entering into his own house.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably got a key. He could have just like walked in the front door.
Yeah, fucking knock. It's his house.
Instead, it deteriorates very quickly, might I add, into backyard wrestling.
That little fight scene actually kind of got an oof out of me because Martin Lawrence does pick Will Smith up off the ground and slam him into a kiddie pool. Damn. He's got that, like, haven't slept with anybody in months strength.
Just raw testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Martin is leaving Julie back in the car, and he wants to make sure that she doesn't cause any trouble, so he handcuffs her to the steering wheel. And at the same time, you got the bad guys out there scoping out like, hey, they're just fucking around right now. We could shoot them real easy. Why don't we do that?
This whole scene boils down to just like, hey, we can just off him right now. Yeah, that's not as funny.
Yeah. Also, we'd end the movie like 40 minutes early. We can't do that.
It's literally them in the script. They know it's a movie. It's 100%, hey, we could kill them right now. Yeah, but you see on the page right there, it says we don't.
Yeah.
And then they get busted by 2 other cops, taken in, interrogated. And the dude caves immediately. He goes, all right, I'll tell you a name. I got a name. He's like, well, what's the name? He says, it's Bobby Boucher.
Oh.
You're the needle dick.
There's a guy that we talked to a while back. His name's Jojo. I guess they just went to like interrogate him or whatever, see if he knew anything. Well, it turns out now they kind of know that he knows stuff. And they go back to him and it's like, hey, who's cutting all this heroin? Who is it? You know, hey, we know you know something. You're down on the street. You got the 411, right? And it's like, no, I don't know. I'm out of the game. I'm clean. I've been super clean. No.
There's also some accidental brilliance here too, because like they're doing a whole yelling at each other thing so that they can get their like the outcome that they wanted. But then like they pull 2 guns on the poor guy and he's so fucking just constipated at like how extreme this moment is, and Martin Lawrence is on the other side of the wall. Yeah, it's like, please tell him what he needs before he blows a hole in your dick or something like that.
Yeah, like Will Smith has like 2 guns held on this guy's head, and Martin Lawrence is just like, no, don't do it. You know, you've got a high enough body count. Fuck it, I'm out. I'm getting out of here. I'm not being a part of this, dude. You better just fucking say something. I'm out of here. And during all that, he's like, he must be serious. I gotta say something.
What's best about that part is that he goes from like, you know, the whole panicked whatever, and then like that chill moment where he's like, all right, if I just tell him what he needs, we'll be best friends. And he starts offering all kinds of free shit like, hey, just pick a pair of tires, it's on the house, it's a gift from me, don't worry about it, I got you.
You want rims? I can get you some rims. Your Porsche would look nice with some rims.
Now with this info, they head home, and the idea is they're going to pack up and get old girl out of there so they can go make their big bust. Because they know where everything's going to happen. And guess what? Here comes Martin's wife. And she goes, you're busted, Martin. He goes, I know what it looks like. I know it looks like we're in here having an orgy. But truth of the matter is, we're deep cover. No, you ain't. Yeah, they is. Because guess who just showed up? The motherfucking bad guys.
You know, again, I'm making the same argument. You could have just told her the truth. But instead, you're just saying a whole bunch of shit that isn't real. Stop saying so much shit.
Yeah, he like starts to make up shit again, a lie to cover his lie, and it's like less and less successful. The only diamond in this rough is like as he and her are arguing, Will Smith just walks up like in the middle of another conversation. He goes, hands over his mouth. Oh no.
When she walks in, the wife knocks on the apartment door, and not Jennifer Connelly opens it and is like, I'm here to kill my husband, Marcus. Is that the tall one or the short one? The short one. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, like, yeah, like, she's completely unfazed by this. Like,
it just, like, I get it. Like, you know, like, her gears have been turning this entire movie. But by the time she figures it out, it's just kind of like, well, it doesn't matter. Because, like, as soon as she figures it out, shit legitimately hits the fan. And then Will Smith slow motion runs for the next 5 minutes.
Oh, my God. Shirtless. Every scene that you remember from the previews and the commercials is happening in the next 10 minutes. But they kidnap the key witness instead of just shooting her. Why?
Well, then you wouldn't get a sweet ass explosion at the airport. That's why.
I guess so. Yeah, they throw her in the back of like a Ford Bronco and drive away. The reception guy thankfully saved one of her dogs. We haven't talked about the dogs because there's no need to. They don't play a part in this aside from shitting on the carpet.
Say the movie forgot about it, so we should too.
Oh shit. Now, like I said, you see everything from the previews here, the shirtless slow-mo, all this nonsense. There's a car crash. Fucking they get to what is it, like an airport hangar?
Yeah, this is where, like you mentioned earlier, where it kicks up. This is where it kicks up to like 11. The whole rest of the movie, this is just action, action, action.
Yeah, the movie reminds itself like, oh, this is a Michael Bay picture. What have we been lacking? A lot of bullshit. Like more so than usual.
Like we've had some explosions, but what about second explosion?
I enjoyed that Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah, because we have a whole lot more explosions to go.
Oh my goodness, we do.
And the movie, I can't say it ties the knot up really well. Like, for whatever reason, there's like a, I guess Colombian drug lord at this derelict hangar, and they're like, oh, we gotta do this drug deal. This is what the whole movie is about.
Mhm.
And the guy's there for like 20 seconds before he gets blown away.
Yes. It's
Like
all
this-
20 seconds.
Yeah, it's like this whole extra level of importance that the movie had ample time to talk about, but didn't. And it's just kind of like this little remnant here. It's like, oh yeah, nice.
I know this movie is coming down to a head, but I don't want to breeze through the chase because the chase had a few of my, I don't know, more questionable thoughts about this movie. Like when they're running through everything, it very much reminds me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he's trying to get back home and he's like
Oh my God.
jumping through people's yards and
point.
going through people's houses, stuff like that. They go through this mansion and it looks like one of those Greek buildings painted all white and everything right on the Mediterranean. But he just like runs through it and there's like photographers taking pictures of like bikini models or whatever. The next thing you know, he's coming through a bodega and having to like run through a team of wheelchair basketball players. There's all kinds of these little like,
Yeah.
why does this even?
It's
There's a taxi that Martin Lawrence is briefly on top of.
it's extremely close to a Naked Gun gag because he
Yeah.
runs into so much shit. I was like, what's next? Like a marching band
Yeah.
or whatever
Yes.
else.
I'm with you on that. And the Ferris Bueller thing, because no matter how fast, these men are in a fucking Bronco driving 3 blocks away, and Will Smith is able to keep up by running in slow-mo.
And
Oh, absolutely.
there are a couple of things left that we haven't touched on that I just want to briefly mention, even though they do not matter. Okay, one, we finally get into this locked file. We find out that the police receptionist or whatever is the former boyfriend, and she is who gave them some heroin secrets. I don't know. Again, doesn't matter. We've also got the chief of police finally getting on board with the boys and is like, hey, I think they're onto something. Let's send a whole SWAT team down there. Again, they don't matter. They don't do a fucking thing.
No, not really. They're basically just support for later on, like after the business is done.
Mhm.
The ambulance show up. They're like, hey, we're here for the. Oh, it's over. All right, clean them
But the
up.
police chief is finally on board, and that's what's important, right?
I guess.
Sure.
Fast forward again, like we're at the airport. You got the Colombian man here. He's like, first you get the sugar, then you get the power, and then you get the women. And then he gets his head blown off for no fucking reason. It actually reminds me of that scene from RoboCop when he's like in that whole drug making place, and he's just like rinsing the whole place as he's just walking in a straight line.
Yes.
This is just a whole bunch of explosions making other explosions. This is explosion reproduction at its best.
And the thing is, like, it's so chaotic. I had no clue where anything was. Like, shit was exploding over there, but like, wait, it wasn't Will Smith on the other side? Oh, wait, what's Martin Lawrence doing? How'd he get there?
Martin
And
Lawrence
that's
is getting
the end
shot
of the
in the
movie.
leg twice and still being able to run.
Dude, Will Smith hid behind a gigantic barrel of propane, and it was getting shot.
This whole scene is like, it's entertaining, but shrug.
Shrug, indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
I did laugh once during this scene where the guy was in the airplane, and I think
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
blew it up or somebody, and then the corpse, like all you see is the door of the airplane, fire shoot out, then you hear whoa, and a flaming bomb comes shooting out of it backwards.
That was the movie trying to be classic action movie because, the dude's on the plane, he's standing at the door, and Martin Lawrence gets that, like, super accurate shot. He's like, catchphrase, kabloom! And, like, it's extremely violent. Like, the explosion's big, it's pretty impressive, but the dude's charred body just, like, slams into, like, a bunch of paint cans really abruptly, and it caught me off guard.
Agreed. And everything deteriorates once again into a car chase with fast cars as the hangar goes up like fucking, it's made of wicker. The whole place just blows up.
The bees!
Kaboom!
But no, before the whole hangar blows up, the bad guy, I don't know who's the main bad guy anymore. I'm going to guess, is it this guy? The guy that comes out in the Shelby Cobra?
Yeah.
By the way, that's a pretty badass car. Anyway, he somehow drives out of this thing with a Shelby Cobra. Luckily, Martin Lawrence brought Will Smith's Porsche. And Will Smith is shot, Martin Lawrence is shot. Everybody's okay, though, because we're going to chase this guy down.
Yeah. And like the movie tries to be really harrowing, you know, as they're chasing each other, Martin Lawrence, he's at the peak of his frustration, both with his life, professional life, and everything. And he starts to basically talk to himself the whole time. Everybody else in the car is like, yo, where was this Martin Lawrence the rest of the movie? Not being an annoying little shit.
Well, like, even the girl, Julie's like, hey, if you could do me a favor and stop giving him shit while he's driving, maybe he could drive a little bit fucking better.
But the cool thing about it, like, I'll say legitimately cool thing, I enjoyed it, but he starts rattling off the Miranda rights, like, as he's in a car chase with the dude. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting it out the way.
Yeah.
You tell him. They have like a John Wick moment where he rages out and they're driving at a brick wall, and all there is one tiny opening. And of course, Martin is able to get in front of the other guy, pass through while he slams into the side, crawls out all injured, and they're like bad boys for life, slow-mo walk at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's this really, really odd exchange between dying bad guy and bad boys, because this guy is clearly going away for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, just fucking kill me, I'm right here, kill me. And they try to do the whole, like, you know, I'm a cop, I'm actually a good guy, I can't just kill this dude in cold blood. And you think, you're like, okay, movie has a little bit of levity right there at the end. But Michael Bay's like, no, he's going to have like a quad barrel pistol in him for no fucking reason.
Yeah, Will Smith could just, like, I don't know, kick his gun away and just, like, stand there. Everything will end up okay. But
Yes, the whole clip into this man. And, like, you know how he takes it? He's just like, and dies.
Well, I feel like step number one, the first thing you should learn as a cop is, like, if you're catching a bad guy, you should secure his weapon. If you know he has a weapon, if you can see that weapon, take it, secure it, get it out of the way, make sure he can't get to it again. They didn't do that at all. So he starts to reach for it, and like you said, it's just like, bop, 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 bop. All right, bad guy over.
Bad guy over.
Speaking of being over, that's the film, boys. All that's left to say is Martin goes, nah, I don't need a doctor for my leg wound. I'm going to go bang my wife. He goes, your dick ain't going to work. And the movie's over.
Yeah. But then, of course, Martin Lawrence is like, hey, you're a womanizer. You are a woman. I should handcuff you two together so that, you know, y'all can do stuff. And you already have handcuffs because I know that's what you're both into.
She's a whore, and you're a dude who likes whores, so... Have at it.
So
10 out of 10.
So before we get into our final thoughts, the one movie that I want to compare this to is Blue Streak. You guys remember Blue Streak, the Martin Lawrence film where it was a Martin Lawrence cop film where he was pretending to be somebody else?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the same thing as this, except a little bit different. And honestly, I enjoy Blue Streak a lot better.
Well, that's Blue Streak.
Like, I know Blue Streak is not like a well-revered movie or anything like Bad Boys is, but I think it's a better movie. I enjoy it more. I think it's got more funny lines. You got Martin Lawrence being at his best, which he is not here. It's not a great movie. It's not. It's enjoyable to a certain degree. It's also kind of fucking annoying. Martin Lawrence, you should have did better in this. Overall, it's fine. It's pretty good. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. It is.
I'm gonna have to ride on that train of annoying. I mean, this movie has the plot of a dark or black comedy, but it's helmed by a dude who's clearly has the mindset of like a 14-year-old and doesn't know how to direct anything. The action is really good. That's the only thing that I can give this movie. There are some times where I laughed almost ironically at stuff. Like, I was just like, haha, that's silly. Why'd they do that? Or, you know, maybe it got a couple good chuckles out of me here and there, whatever. But in hindsight, this movie, coming back to it after not seeing it for whatever X amount of years, I just wasn't that entertained, thoroughly annoyed. And just like, I just had my hand like pressed up against my cheek, just like, what? I'm exhausted. Please stop.
For me, I can sum this movie up pretty quick. Martin, Mike Lowry. Hooker, heroin. Pew, pew, pew. We bad boys for life. Boom. Mike Lowry. We did it. Mike Lowry, Mike Larry. Mikey, Larry. Mikey, Mike, Larry. Yep, that was this movie.
What you gonna do?
When Mike Larry come from for you.
Well, there you have it. That was Mike Lowry. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Ding that little bell icon too, so you know next time we got another one of these brewing.
Get out there and follow us on our social media. We got all sorts of it. We got an Instagram, Facebook, a Twitter, a Reddit. Thanks to the Anchor app, we're out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Of course, we're out here on YouTube. If you don't at least give us a listen, our administrator and or Mike Lowry will come do your wife.
Hashtag scattered ass.